morning, Badass. It's Coach Joe from Summit Endurance Academy. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the distinction that I make between metabolic and non-metabolic strength training. So, I have, it's kind of turnover of seasons here. It's mid-September, and, I have a couple athletes going a couple different directions on things. Some athletes are kind of putting together some pretty big volume blocks to prepare for skimo season. Some are doing a little more strength training in kind of the segue from season to season. And this has brought up the topic a couple times of things like CrossFit or super circuit style strength. And I actually think that this can be, depending on your season plan, this can be a fairly good time for something like CrossFit. Now, what we want to be careful of, so historically, when we're thinking about training an endurance athlete, this is somebody who already does a lot of metabolic training, right? A lot of cardio, a lot of, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to train a lot in order to train my metabolism to be more efficient, to train my cardiovascular system to be more efficient. So what CrossFit does, and similar, anytime that you are moving quickly through a set of exercises and sets in order to keep the effort high, you are adding metabolic and cardiovascular conditioning to strength training. Typically, with an endurance athlete, we typically say, like, don't fucking do that. You're already doing enough cardio. You're doing a lot of cardio outside. And all that you're doing when you're getting tired in a metabolic and cardiovascular sense, if your heart rate gets really high in the weight room, that means you're just kind of like wasting, you're doing cardio training in a very unspecific fashion, and that's going to take away from the amount of time that you can spend outside and really working on your sport specific training. So I think that in between the seasons here, though, that kind of stuff can be totally okay. I think that, for a couple reasons, I kind of like CrossFit or circuit style things, especially things that mix up a lot of movements and make you very well-rounded. Because we as endurance athletes are not fucking well-rounded. We spend all of our time doing this. Maybe if we're like Nordic skiers, we spend a little bit of time doing this, but still, by and large, we're using the same muscles and the same and roughly the same movement patterns, and we have the same shitty like hunch or humpback or whatever that is. So spending time in a gym working on all of it is a really good thing, I think. And so for some athletes, I will have them do, at the end of a year or 8 months of super hard, really specific training, I'll say, like, go do CrossFit for a month or two, and then just ride easy or run easy or whatever it is outside of that, because it'll torch you. But I think we want to be really conscious of the difference between strength that is for strength training and strength that is strength training combined with cardiovascular training. And we want to be purposeful about them and realize that most of the year we do not want metabolic and cardiovascular load in our strength training, but sometimes there's a place for it. Have a good day.